Hey there, welcome back to Magic String Works. It's been a little while, but here on the workbench I just want to do a short update on this Yamaha BB435 5-string bass that I purchased about 6-7 months ago, and I have been using and gigging with regularly, and I just want to give you my sort of thoughts, after 6 months of ownership of this Yamaha bass, what I thought. So let's have a quick rundown of the features and how they've held up. So this Yamaha BB435 5-string bass has become my regular bass for gigging and for recording, and really I just wanted to get back into 5 strings. I used to use them years ago, then I moved into 4 strings again, and now I want to get back into 5 strings. We are playing a few songs that it's nice to have that low B string. But yeah, this is the broad bass, Yamaha BB435. Got a little tuner on there. I've got this little, I guess we call it a fret, a string dampener. I use it, sometimes I'll use it when I'm playing a little higher up on the fretboard. Most of the time it just so it sits around here at the nut. This bass has what they're calling their super light or ultra light tuning keys, which they are pretty light. They only weigh about 85 grams per set. So that's pretty light. The next closest I can find is about 100 to 125. I'll come back to that after. Fretboard plays really well. The neck is slim. Super slim neck, multi-piece. I'll flip it over in a minute. Nice tobacco sort of burst body. And we have a PJ configuration. And honestly, these pickups have been great. I basically have them pinned. Both pickups pinned when I play. And I'll just play with the tone a little bit. I'm probably about, I'd say, a third up. If that's really bassy and that's really trebly, I'd say probably a little more towards the bass side, so a third away from the bass. So that's just easier, I find, when I'm playing live than to have to, try and find a middle spot or something. No, just pin it all the way. Little pick guard, which I still think is kind of funny, but where's the rest of it? But other than that, so yeah, it's held up really well. You might notice here that I have brass saddles. I did change those out from the chrome ones that came with. Chrome are brass chromed saddles. But I like the look of brass, and does it sound different, feel different? Maybe, but I just like the look of it. So I changed those to brass. I've also put on the Dunlop strap locks here, which I have on all my guitars and basses. Oop, there we go. I love these. This also doubles as a regular strap button, but you can see you just push in to release, push in to engage. I've never had them fail. Some people have had failures with them, I've seen in comments, but I've never had a problem with them. So I always recommend Dunlop strap locks. These work really well. Okay, so really I've only put these strap locks on and changed the brass saddles. Haven't done anything else other than a setup. Let me flip the bass over. Okay, so here is the headstock, and you can see that these are, well, I don't know if you can see it, I can see it. These are very thin, super thin. I guess that's why they're light. So they're a little smaller scale and they're a little thinner. I will change these though. I want to get something with a little more precise tuning, so I'm looking around to make sure I can find something that's a simple retrofit. I don't feel like drilling out holes or filling in big holes where the tuning posts go. So you can see this is a 5-piece laminated neck, and it goes right through the headstock here. I did notice that there's a little lamination here. You can see it's not coming apart, but it's a glue joint, Looks like they glued on this little piece here to get this shape, but it's not coming off. I just noticed it. Just showing you. But the neck is super smooth, super fast, it's slim, it's really nice. So this neck is bolted on, of course. We have 6 bolts. We have a little comfort sort of carve, or curve I should say, to the back of the neck, so it's easier to get here down to the higher frets if you play up there a lot. And you'll notice that this bass has 4 bolts plus 2 more that are in at a 45-degree angle. Does it help with stability? Sure, why not? I think it's a pretty cool idea. Well, you know, if you can do it, why not? So this is the other part of this bass is really neat, that we have, so the string through body, but it goes through here again, probably at a 30-degree angle or so. It's not just right on the back of the bass here, so the strings don't come out all pinched at 90 degrees, so it's a little nicer. I like the look of it too. Feels good. You know, it's smoother on the back too, so you don't have these little ferrules sticking up. And just a small control cavity. Again, this passive electronics, so you know, you have 2 volume pots and a tone pot, and then the output jack. That's it. I'll just swing in a little closer here, and you can see that the angle of the string going through the body is probably about 45 degrees, certainly here on the first string. So instead of going straight down into the body, you've got a little less of an angle, less of a severe angle, which I think helps, definitely helps with the feel, installing the strings. But also I think that, you know, that break angle there is nice instead of having that sharp 90. So it's definitely, I mean, the string doesn't move around, so you don't have to worry about it not being enough of a break angle. So I like that feature a lot, and you'll notice that the B is stepped back here, the bridge, which is a nice feature too, and I pointed that out last time in the first video, because a lot of times you just don't have enough room for intonation on the B string if the bridge plate just continued here. So here we've got an extra at least a quarter inch, maybe more than that. So 6 to 10 millimeters more, so you got a little more intonation room, which I appreciate. And again, you can see I'm not using a lot of it, so that's pretty good. How does it play, and how has it played? Well, let's have a look at the setup. Alright, so this bass was set up 6 months ago, and I've tweaked the truss rod a couple of times, of course, over the summer with the high humidity that we've experienced here in Ottawa, Canada, in the area. But that's normal. You should be tweaking your truss rod a little bit over the change of seasons. So other than that, I haven't done anything else to it. I haven't done anything with the nut or with the saddle height for the string action. So let's have a look and see where it stands. I just gigged with this last Friday night, so I haven't touched it since. Alright, capo on the first fret, and I like to see between 8 and 10 thousandths of an inch at the 7th fret, and I'll measure on the E string, not the B string. So push down near the last fret on the body. I'm just scraping 8. So that's good. You know, it's still at around 8 thousandths neck relief, which I like. So normally I like to set up my personal bass at around in between 5 and 6/64 at the 17th fret for a Fender scale, which is 34 inches. So if I use my pickup and string height gauges here, which you can purchase at MagneticStringworks.com, shameless plug, I'm going to take the 5/64 gauge, and I'm just going to run it under the string, between the top of the fret and under the string. And there's a little bounce, so that means there's room there. Oh, the B string is maybe just touching it here. Yeah, and then we've got, yeah, so everything's just sort of touching the 5. If I flip over to the 6, yeah, definitely could probably raise up actually the first string. Yeah, they're all touching. So I'd say we're sitting right around 5/64, which is, you know, pretty low for a bass. I mean, that's as low as I would want to put it. And I haven't found any, you know, crazy buzzing, you know, or fret noise when you're playing, you know, that clank. You want a little bit of clank sometimes though, right? So yeah, you know, it's for me, this is how I like it. Up to 6/64 is fine. Lower than 5, that's pretty tough. I think you'd have to be a very gentle player, you know, someone who just very gently plays. You're not really digging in for some rock and roll. As far as the first fret action or the nut action, I didn't really do too much to it before. I like to see it around 20 thousandths, and that's pretty much where it is right there. The feeler gauge is just getting under there without really making any bounce. So between 20 and 22 thousandths of an inch at the first fret for a bass, that's pretty ideal. Okay, like I said, I just gigged with this bass on Friday night at the Carlton Tavern here in Ottawa. Great show. If you were there, hope you had a lot of fun. We did. But I haven't tuned it up or anything since coming back, so there's the G, intonation, pretty good. There's the D, intonation, the tuning's a little sharp. I'll go, and it holds tune. Like I'll definitely tune it at the beginning of the set and really don't have to touch it till the next set. So that's, you know, I'm happy with that. You know, again, tuning is relative. Intonation, yeah. Could probably do with a little intonation on that string, or it's the tuning, but you know, it's not far off. Oh, there we go. Again, it's more just the tuning adjustment. Yeah. And then the B, which is always tough to intonate, I find. Yeah, pretty good. So all in all, certainly for rock and roll, this bass is great, you know, for keeping its tuning stability and its intonation. Well, what are my thoughts after 6 or 7 months? Overall, I'm very happy with this bass. It was very well priced here in Canada, at least. You know, I don't really have anything bad to say about it. The sound is good, plays nicely, controls work, no buzzing. I've had no buzzing issues, you know, knock on wood. But everything works out really well. So would I recommend this bass? Yeah. One of the features I really like about it and what I was looking for in a bass is a passive bass. Most 5 strings you're going to find out there, a lot of them are going to be active, and really when I'm, you know, playing gigs and that, I just really like to have a bass I don't have to worry about. And just go up there and play. So yeah, I guess the only thing that's bugged me here is there's just the cover on this pickup right here will bounce a little bit. Doesn't do it on this one, but on that one a little bit. And so once in a while when I'm playing, I'll sort of hit it like that. So I'm gonna figure out a little fix for that. I think it's just the spring or the foam under there. But that's my only complaint. Not bad, eh? So yeah, I would say if you're looking for a 5-string bass to start out playing, be serious about 5-string, definitely, you know, check this bass out. It won't kill your pocketbook. They're well priced, passive control, so they're easy. You know, standard layout, volume, tone. Really, you know, 18 millimeter string spacing too, which I really like for a 5-string. So 18 mil, not 19, which is what a precision or a jazz bass would have on a 4-string. I find that's just a little too wide. And then you have 16 and 17 millimeter spacing, which is way too narrow. It's more for pickers, you know, sort of guitar or bass players, if you will. But I think 18 is the sweet spot for string spacing on a 5-string. And the neck on this bass in particular is very slim up at the nut here. Sort of like a jazz bass 5-string. So they've really tapered this neck so it gets nice and slim. So these first 5 to 7 frets especially, they feel really comfortable when you're playing. And I'll just measure that real quick. Yeah, about 43.5 millimeters at the nut, which is, yeah, about 1 3/8. Yeah, so 1 3/8 at the nut. So that's a nice slim 5-string neck. So overall, I'm going to give this bass out of 10. What would you give it? I'll give you a few seconds to think about it. I'm going to give it a, let's say construction. Let's do a few things. Construction, you know, overall construction, fit and finish, that kind of thing. 8.5, 9 out of 10. I haven't really found any faults with it from that point of view. Playability, how easy is it to play as far as it being a 5-string? Absolutely a 9, 10, 9 or 10 out of 10 for sure. Sound wise, sound is subjective, but I've liked the sounds that come out of this bass, so I'm going to give it a good 8.5, 9 at least. And just durability, playability, keeping in tune, stuff like that. Definitely 8.5, 9 out of 10 for sure, right? So it's a great bass. Go check out the Yamaha broad bass BB435. This is well worth it. All right, I'll give it a thumbs up. All right, we'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.